Hello friends, this is Cara-Renee with B.Reborn Art and Healing, coming to you with another just kind of a craft with me. I was going through some of my digitals and I found these digitals. I believe they're from Digital Fit. I'm not sure these papers here, but I will be sure to link them. Let me show you a couple of the other ones. You might recognize them, but I will be sure that they are linked. Look at these amazing images. Amazing images. So I'm not using these two in today's project, but that's kind of a sneak peek of what we're doing here. We're going to do some fairy work. I was inspired to just break out of what the other projects I'm working on and just do something a little bit different. Justine Jenkins from House of Mahalo did, she's just finished another journal, a fairy journal, and it just inspired me. I adore fairies. Like, I have little fairy houses that are attached to the front of my garage, and it's been a pretty big thing in my world. And so I thought, I'm going to play with some fairies and get just have a little bit of fun. So what we're going to do is something of like this. So I have created a window using dies and my die cut machine, but I'm using this embossable window plastic. So I ran this piece through the embossing machine, and you can see it's got the dots on it. We're going to be using those dots again. So we've got that going on. Let me just take this out and show you what she looks like. So it's going to have a back. I thought about not having a back and just having it be glued on three sides, but I want it to be able to be a tuck once it's in a journal. I don't have any fairy journals planned at the moment because I've got too many things I'm trying to work on. Making a strawberry journal for my granddaughter who's turning 12. My other granddaughter turns 12 6 weeks later, so I'm going to be probably making her a journal too. So this is going to be later on down the road, but there's nothing wrong with kind of getting your feet wet, having a play at something that brings you joy, and this brings me great joy. And I love this paper because it looks very conducive to fairies. So what I did is I glued this. I cut I believe this is, let me give you the dimensions just for in case you're curious. So this one is 7.5 inches tall and 4.5 inches wide. And I just used a regular rectangle die. You can get those, anywhere. I don't even have, some of them were kind of those, back in the day when I first started, I just got what was cheap. And so I don't know who the maker of some of these dies are, which I don't have one in my hand, goodness gracious. These fairy words I just purchased tonight because I didn't really have anything, but I will link those as well. I haven't saved them on my digital list yet to kind of get it in my memory that's where they came from, but that's what it looks like. So I glued this piece of embossed window to the inside of this front piece, glued the back piece, cut it the same size, glued it on as narrow as I could because I really wanted to retain as much of the landscape of my pocket as possible. Then I thought I wanted to bring, I have tons of 12 by 12 scrapbook paper, and I don't use scrapbook paper like virtually at all. So I thought, how can I make some tags that are different than what I would normally make and make something that's got a great writing space on the back, a little bit of cluster here. So we've got our girl. So this is the backing. Did some stamping with one of my favorite stamps, this one here, which I cannot locate, you guys, I'm so sorry. And then I just layered out some book page, a little bit of material. This piece right here is the piece that I cut out of this. So I just tore it down a little bit, another piece of the yellow, just to kind of bring in all those colors. Glued my little fairy on there, and she is good to go. So and then I took a piece of fabric and I just doubled it, I folded it over, and then I ran it through the machine and did that. I just thought I wanted something a little bit non-traditional for me. So I want this journal, when I do get to it, to be very very woodsy and outdoorsy. So this just slides in here like this. The one thing that we want to keep in mind as we're doing this is that we want to make sure that our person shows. So because we're going to be building the cluster on the tag. So we're going to be looking at where our opening is on our front piece to make sure that we get what we want to have visible in the window. So that is that. So we are going to be doing a couple of things with the die cut machine. I'll be bringing it over into the center of the desk. We'll be using it to do the embossable windows, and we'll be doing it to make to cut our dies. So this one again was just a rectangle die. I wish I had inked around this, but I often forget to do that. I will try to remember on this one. So this is the first one we're going to do with this cute little fairy. We're going to be using this die. You can use any die you want. You can cut your own circle. You can cut your own rectangles. Totally up to you. I just thought I have these things. I don't use them enough. And then I pulled scraps from what I cut off, the cut-offs from the larger piece to have some bits to do my cluster, and then I pulled this scrap of paper and this scrap of paper to make our tags and such. Again, when it's ready for a journal, I'll be able to make something to go in the tuck, which will make it really, really cool. And then this is our third one. So we'll look at this one in a minute. So let's go ahead and get started. So what I want to do first, just because I need to allow for drying time for the window, is we're going to go ahead and do that first. And I might not be able to bring everything over. Let me move my mouse. It always gets in my way. Hopefully I didn't just stop my video. Oh, there we go. I have to usually get it out of my reach because I often will touch it and then it stops the video. We also are going to be using a little bit of washi tape, and I'll show you where we're going to be using that. I did it after the fact, and I had to kind of pull up my top layer to put some washi tape where the top edge of the embossed window goes, because otherwise your things that you stick in are going to get stuck. So this is the paper. And again, this is the die that we're going to be using. So I'm going to kind of set this stuff over here and just get that out of the way. And then we're going to bring the main page in. I already did cut my little thumb notch. You certainly don't have to. Mine is definitely not even. Oh my goodness. But I wonder if we want to have the window go off to the side, because I really don't want to lose those flowers. You know what I mean? I'd love to see that. This is what I would love to see. And we could totally do that. So let me get the, because I don't want to cut out this pinkish flower, because I picked this paper because I thought it would go with it. It's not really, but it'll draw out the more pinky tones of it. So I'm just going to bring my die cut machine over here. I know it's a little bit close. Let me move my camera up so that we're not like kissing the camera here. And so for die cuts, generally it's just the regular first plate, top plate. So I'm just gonna scooch that over a little bit more in view. As you can see, mine is well loved. My plates are all bent and bowed. So I'm gonna grab a piece of that washi tape that I just had in my hand, and I'm going to tape this where I want it to go. So I'm feeling like I'd rather see these flowers up here, and I'm sorry I'm a little bit off camera there. So I'm going to bring this kind of down. I'm going to try to get it as straight as I can. I don't want to get it too far to the side though. So because, you know what, that's not really going to work. I'm going to have to go up like that. I think I'm just going to go ahead and center it after all. I'm just going to go a little bit lower than I normally would, because I don't want to get too close to the edges here. And I'm looking at this just to make sure that things look straight. You know, these points look kind of straight. That's all, you know, debatable. I'm going to hold it up and see if I can tell if that's actually straight on there. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and set that in my machine. And if you don't, yeah, you guys probably know how to use a die cut machine. If you don't, raise your hand and somebody will tell you. But if you've never used a die, there's a ridged edge on the back side of this, and you want to make sure that that is the side that goes down onto your paper, because that's how it cuts. So there we go. Die cut Sizzix machine 101. I'm not an expert. I don't use it to its fullest capacity at all. So there we go, and I'm going to gently peel this off. There we go. You have to be careful. Sometimes that washi tape will tear your paper. So this is not a very sticky washi tape. So, and then we'll hold on to that because we might use that in our cluster as well. So that is our window, and that looks beautiful. So while we've got this in our way, we're going to go ahead and do our embossed window. So I will link this. It's from Judikins, and it's amazing. There's 20 sheets in this little packet. I have not used it before, and as I've mentioned before, I'm trying to use supplies that I have neglected. So yeah, so that's why I got it out. So on this one, we want to go down to the first plate. So we're going to go down to this one, the pink plate, if you have the Sizzix. And I think I'm going to use the dot one on this because this digital has a lot of words already, and I don't want to repeat that. So we're going to go ahead and stick that piece of, where did it go? It's just basically acetate. I just got it because I thought, wow, cool, one that's made to be embossed. But I'm pretty sure you can emboss on any kind of that kind of acetate kind of stuff. So I just have it, so I'm using it, and I like the convenience of it that it's all just in a little package, and I don't have to worry too much about anything. So then you put your bottom plate, and then your embossing folder, and then your top plate. Run that through, and I've had this machine for 4 years, and I love it. My handle does get a little loose, and I have to find a special tool to tighten it. Usually I have to get my husband involved. I don't know if you can hear that. It's very loose. So kind of problematic sometimes. So there we go. So here is our embossed window. Isn't that amazing? So we're going to go ahead and set this aside because I don't want to break up each project. I want you guys to be able to follow what I'm doing without too much confusion caused by me. So let me get this out of the way, get that out of the way, put these back in, make some space. There we go. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is do a little bit of inking just on this. I don't need to pause it or anything. There's not a lot to do here. And I'm going to try to move as quickly as I can. I cannot see, guys, just bear with me a second. I cannot see my, I can't see that the thing is running, so hold on. Okay, it's running. My menu popped up and I couldn't see the little video thing that shows it's running, so goodness gracious. So how are you guys doing? It is Sunday, February the 2nd, and again, I'm trying to get ahead for this coming week. So I've got one video that's going to be on the channel tomorrow, Monday the 6th, and then one for the Wednesday the 8th, and then Friday the 10th, and then hopefully Sunday's Art of Truth again. But as I mentioned in a previous video, I'm working really hard at getting my videos recorded early in the week, over the weekend and early in the week, so that I can have time to really not only think about my Sunday's Art of Truth, because it's usually a mixed media project, but also to spend some time on the computer. I've got a class that I'm enrolled in that I never do, and I need to do that, learn some new skills. So that's kind of my goal. So there we go. So now we are going to go ahead and put our window on, but this is far bigger than we need. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over, and I'm going to kind of mark it a little bit here, just so that we don't need all of that, because it just creates more bulk, if you know what I mean. So what would work to mark this? Maybe a little bit of Sharpie. I don't think anything else will not rub off like right away. I'm keeping this, let me move this down again. I'm keeping this edge a distance from the window so that the glue doesn't ooze through. So we're going to go ahead and make a mark here, and we're going to make a mark here approximately, and that will help us to just reduce the bulk a little bit here. I'm not concerned about it being straight even, because it's not going to show. Like that, and then like that. Okie dokie. So that stuff just feels like regular acetate. It's not anything special. Just, you don't have to run out and get it. Any acetate will work, or cellophane for that matter would totally work here too. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this because I want to make sure that this all has time to get nice and dry before we start trying to stuff something into the pocket. So we're going to put the acetate on, and then we're going to put the back on, and then we will move on to, this is kind of hard for me to see where I need to put the glue though. Okay, so let's just start, right? Come on, our glitter glue. It's finicky like a woman, I swear. So I've had a weird weekend. I talked about it in my Sunday's Art of Truth. We had some of the grand boys overnight last night and into today, and we had a great time. And then, but I also spent some time in urgent care and spent some time in the lab, the medical lab, getting some tests and blood work and stuff. It's just ridiculous. So over it. This will not work. What is going on here? Give me just a second to unplug this, my friends. Get this, see if I can get anything out of this little one today. Let's see. Oh, my heavens. So anyway, I as I mentioned, if in case, because not all of my people that watch my my junk journal and journal making kind of stuff, they don't necessarily watch my Sunday's Art of Truth. So I'll fill you in here as well, just because this is busy work. But I have diagnosed with parathyroid disease, so I'm waiting currently for, like, okay, what do we do? You know, is it surgical? Often it is, but I don't know because I've never been here before. So I have appointments coming up, but they can't see me in like forever and a day, which I think is ridiculous. That it takes you months to get in. I mean, I can't even get in to see the doctor, the specialist, until mid-April. And then so that was my diagnosis, and then so when my numbers jump really high, then my heart beats way too fast for me. It scares me. So spent some time in urgent care making sure that everything was okay. Everything seems to be fine. I do have an appointment with my doctor as well. So hoping for a resolution, because I think it might be the answer to a lot of my most current issues these last about 16 months. So this is the top. So I'm going to go ahead and put a piece of washi tape here again, just to make sure that nothing impedes anything that we're putting in this pocket. I'm not going to glue it down or anything. I'm just going to put it there and just let it be. Okay. So then there's our window. Isn't that so precious? And then let's get our piece that's going to go on the back. So this is our backing. And my hope is that it would, oh goodness, what do we have on there? Get off. My hope is that it will bring out some of those pinker colors in the flowers there. So we're going to go ahead and put that on. So again, I'm just going to go around all three sides, and then we're going to let this sit while we work on the tag. Boy, steady hand tonight, Cara-Renee. Woohoo! Oh, just as I say it. There we go. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to some answers, regardless of what it means. My quality of life is just in the toilet, to be honest. I mean, I love my life and I'm happy, but I'm tired of being ill all the time and being tired all the time, and just one problem after another with my immune system and whatnot. So there we go. So I'm going to just leave that to dry. I didn't use very much glue, so we should be able to protect the landscape of that pocket. I'm just going to grab my ruler, as you guys have probably seen me do before, and I just like to get it in there really gently and make sure I don't have a big margin there that's being kind of sucked up by the glue. So that looks pretty good. I'll stick it all the way down too, because I want to make sure I can go as far as possible down that pocket. So we're going to kind of leave this here though, because we're going to need it to evaluate the height of the tags have already been cut, so it's similar to the other one where it's sticking up. I did not cut my little edges. I'm going to make one of those templates I keep saying. I've yet to do it. But anyway, so it felt like the weekend went so fast. It's like I didn't get to create anything because I spent, it had an, I was available for somebody that I care about very much on Friday night and Saturday, and then I went to the urgent care on Friday night, and then came home and spent the evening and then the morning, a little bit of the morning with my daughter, and then and then what did we do after that? I don't know. I think I did a little. Oh, I finished my Sunday's Art of Truth, because I was behind on that. So it's just like craziness. And then the boys came at 6 o'clock, and we had them for the night, and it was great. We had a fantastic time, but it was a lot of stuff going on that were unusual for me for the weekend. So it feels like I didn't really have my normal weekend where I get to be in the studio and do stuff. So I did get in here to prep this a little bit in pieces over the last couple of days just to have something ready. So there is our tag. So we're going to just kind of keep this here because we want to make sure that we get our image where we can see it, so within the window. So I'm just going to make a mark that I can erase about where that line is here, top and bottom. Oops, pencil broke. And then we're going to do the same side to side. Oh, this is very narrow. Okay. So then it's this here. I hope this is making sense, you guys. And here. It's just going to kind of give us a gauge for how far up we can go. This is the height of our window. And then this is how narrow it is, so approximately. So we're going to get our little bits over here. I actually think this would be really cool to put right there. We might make this really easy. Easier than I had anticipated. So I do want to get some book page in here because I love book page, and who doesn't like book page, or music page rather. So we're going to ink that up. I know I'm jabbering. Maybe it's my heart. My heart rate, resting rate is usually about 75, and it can reach while I'm sitting over 100. And they say that up to 100 is still normal for some people, but it's not normal for me. So it's very concerning. But when I went to urgent care, they did an EKG, and my blood pressure is awesome. So it's just my heart rate. I'm not sure what that's about. I don't understand all that. So, but I'm glad that I went because I needed that peace of mind that things were okay. So you know what? I don't even think she needs very much. I mean, look at that. That is absolutely beautiful. I feel like we need maybe this piece of lace under here. I pulled it out, perhaps to use it, and I think that would help her really stand up from the background. So I don't think we're going to do much with this. I was going to do like a cluster, but I think this is going to be perfect. So let's do it. I'm just using my Fabri-Tac because it's easier than the white glue. I should just switch to Fabri-Tac all the time because this is a glue problem. I don't have the energy for it. So I'm looking again at this is as low as I can go, and this is as high as I can go. So I'm going to try to go kind of in the middle, and I'm going to stay within my window. So, but before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and I can't, because I can't stick it in there. That should be, I need to move it over just a little bit. There we go. So that's the beauty of Fabri-Tac. Oh, this was supposed to go first. Oh my goodness gracious. Cara-Renee. Seriously? It's another great reason for using Fabri-Tac though. Super forgiving. Allows you to move and pull off a lot better than white glue. So let's go ahead and put this on first. So this is going to go off to this side though, because it's just an offset. So I'm going to kind of go about right there. I think should be good. Let's hope. And then we're going to put our music page back on. I'm going to put a little bit more glue here. So anyway, I think part of why I wanted to do some fairy stuff and use these beautiful papers is because we have 6 more weeks of winter. Did you hear? And let me just say, I'm not happy about that. I am ready for spring, for sure. Spring is my favorite. I think spring is my favorite. I like it for different reasons than the other seasons. I'm going to go ahead and ink this beautiful fairy up as well. I don't like that white edge at all. I will also link where I got the fairies. It's a digital, and I got them in all kinds of colors. I think like 4 different colors: purple and yellow and pink and blue, and fantastic. And I've had them for quite a while. I haven't used them much, so again, another reason to pull them out and have fun with them. So there we go. So I just get a little bit of ink even on that little white spot, just so it's not so glaring there. And then we're going to go ahead and put, I almost feel like we need something else there though. Let me grab this piece of paper, or maybe the pink. What do you think? Let me do a rough tear on this and just take a look at what we can do. I feel like it does need something, something more than what we see here. Just going to kind of place that down and see what she looks like. I do think we need that separation. So I'm going to go ahead and use that. I'm going to ink it a little bit. I don't want her to blend in too much, even though obviously she's a fairy. You know, she spends her life blending in. Just status quo, you know. Don't see me, don't look at me. I'm mysterious. I'm magical. I don't think I told you guys the story on YouTube on my channel, but years ago my husband made me a bunch of fairy houses, and they are now on our garage, on the outside of the front of our garage. And my husband would, I think he just was playing with me. Like, I would go down there and one of the doors on the houses would be open, and I'd be like, how did the door get open? Like, I did not open it, I closed it. Last time I was down in the garage, I closed it, and now it's open. And he was like, he just looks at me with a twinkle in his eye and a smile on his face, and he says, "Well, I think the fairies were here." So it's a sweet, sweet thing. Maybe I'll see if I can put some pictures on at the end of the video of our actual fairy houses, because they are absolutely, they're all messed up now because they've been out in the weather. I'd like to take that on as a project and disassemble them and make them again and make them weatherproof, and then put them somewhere where they're a little bit more protected from the weather. They have all kinds of bugs and stuff living in them currently, which is sad. And they were also made out of they were made out of wood, and they had like curvy roofs like from Whoville and stuff, but everything inside was all recycled, like bottle caps and things like that, and a lot of scrapbooking embellishments, which just disintegrate, you know, in the weather. So they didn't really last. That is absolutely stunning, if I do say so myself. Look at that, you guys. Look at that beauty. She's gorgeous. So I'm just praying that she's going to go where she needs to go here. I think it's going to be okay. I guess we'll find out. Let's see if we can slide it in there. I'm just not going to leave it in there because I don't want anything to get stuck. But oh, we didn't get her foot glued. You gotta stay down, foot. We need you to be protected. There we go. I'm gonna stick that in, and it's sliding in really easy because we put that washi tape there. Oh, look at that. It's a little bit odd. So why are we stuck here? Is that as far down as it goes? We better check our height. Yes, so we're going to have to cut this shorter because we are not going to be able to see what's down there. It's not going down low enough, I guess, is what I'm saying. Far enough. Let's try that. Worst case is it's not perfect, you know? That happens. I love that. So look at that. Look at that offset. I'll show it to you here in just a second. As I say, look, look, look. It's different. It's not what I planned, but it's okay. Look at that. She just looks like she's in the middle of something really magical there. So that makes our little topper a little bit smaller, but I think just to keep things simple and to bring out that pink, because this is another piece of, I think this was up here, I'm going to get my punch and punch a pull on this. Actually, I should do a butterfly pull. Let's do that. I've got a big butterfly punch here. I have a drawer that my punches go in. Oh, this is too big. That my punches go in across the room, the bigger ones that don't fit in the drawer, but it's too big for, and that's too small, so butterfly's not going to work. Let's just use this. So anyway, I made room over here, just to my left, in my drawers under my desk to have these so I can use them more, my bigger ones. I use this one a lot. So we're going to go ahead and just use this punch. It's one of my favorite things to use for a pull. And on the next one, I might speed through some of it just so that you don't have to listen to me yappity yapping so much. So let's go ahead and take that back out. That will give that a chance to dry too and not risk anything. Oh, I need to ink the back edges. I don't think I did that on the other one either. So this is going a lot smoother than my prototype did. But then again, I was getting it ready in pieces, and dinner happened and interruption. Oh, excuse me, I forgot. I wanted to stamp on here. Shoot. Okay, let's see if we can cover this up. Darn it. Let's see. What do we have? I can probably make it work. I've got some stamps here that I actually thought would be really fun, but I didn't use them, so I'm bummed about that. I thought this little brick would be cool. Okay, awesome. Get that lid on there, and we've got one more to do, and we're 35 minutes in, so I think I'm feeling pretty darn good about that. So what I do with these is I fold them in half, and I match up those edges as best I can, and then I go ahead and ink the edge on both sides of that, and then I just glue this on the top. Just a little cute little pull right there. Perfect. Alrighty. And then we'll slide this into the pocket, and then I'll show you. Whoops, we want to turn that around. I like my frontwards to not be upside down, so they're upside down on the back, but I can deal with that. There we go. So again, just a little pull, and there's still room. If I wanted to put an eyelet on there, I could. So let's slide this in and see what we think, and then we'll move on to the next one. There's just one more. I'll do the other ones off camera. So let's slide that in. Perfecto. Oh, I just love this so much. I don't want to brag on myself, but this is really quite cool. And I love the offset. It's really different and mysterious. I love that. Okay, so that is done. I'm going to take that out just in case anything's still a little bit wet. So that is our second one. So I will speed through parts of this. I don't want to leave you out in the dark through the whole thing, but I'm going to just set some things out of the way so I can bring the machine back over here and do the next one. So this is our second one that we're doing together. So I'm going to use this die for the window, and these are my bits of scraps and such. Thought I'd use some paper doily that would be fun. I'm going to put that there, and I'm going to remember to stamp that tag if I can. So this is the print. Isn't that absolutely stunning? Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. And then this is the back of the pocket, and then this is the tag color. And so, and that other thing is just a scrap. So I'm just going to put that stuff over there. And we're going to start with our window. So this one's going to be, this one is actually also smaller. I made it smaller on purpose just to show you. This is 4 inches wide by, oh, I guess it is 7.5, just under 7.5. So it's not quite the same size. I think, oh, I didn't give you the measurements on the one we just did I? So this one is bigger. So it is a 4.5 by 8-ish. Heavy on the ish. So we're going to go ahead and put this about right there. Just leaving a little bit of a border there. So I'm going to pull the machine back over and run this through really quick. Okay, so I'm loving this window. It's a little bit off, and we've got a very narrow edge there, so that we're gonna have to be very careful with that this time. I didn't realize I don't know if I wasn't looking at it right, or just wasn't even in the middle, but that's okay. So we're gonna start with our embossed window, and this time I did some script, which I think will be lovely if I can find it. There we go. So this is the script. That is so pretty. So that is definitely going to be cut down just probably on one side, because it's not too high, because my window is bigger than the other projects. So I'm just going to trim that off and see where we're at. I want it a little bit more though, because I just don't want any excess. Of course, if you were a measurer, you could probably save yourself a lot of headache by looking at it. So, and I'm putting the embossed side into the window down. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this on. She is beautiful. Wowza. Okay, so let's go ahead and put the back on. Oh, I forgot to ink, and I didn't ink inside the window. That is okay. It's nice to do that, but if you forget, it's not a big deal. Just gonna do a little touch up here. Just a little bit of grunging up, especially in the lighter bits. There we go. We're gonna go ahead and ink this top edge at least, because it's going to show. Oh, I guess it's not going to show. Never mind. So we're going to get a little bit of that washi tape, if I can find it in my mess that's exploding here on my desk. Uh-oh, don't be flipping all your pieces around. Where's the washi, Cara-Renee? Oh, there it is. It's actually not too bad. I just have a little bit of stuff over there. It's just kind of in piles, and it's like, how do you find anything in piles? I don't understand how anybody finds things in piles. But I know people do, and they're quite functional at it, but not me. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and zip through this and get this glued down. clearly have not used these stamps before. They're awfully adorable though. So let's see if we can get this off. I need to get a block. Hopefully I've got one right here that will fit. I need it to be somewhat big because I do want a good impression here. So I've got one here. So we're just going to put that down and do some stamping. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what we want to do here. So this is our fairy for this lovely piece, this little pink fairy, which is why our window is a little bit bigger because she's taller. I'm just going to ink her up. I'm just going to make this wonky because I think fairies are. I don't think fairies are all prim and proper and straight, and I don't think they obey the rules and all that stuff. So we're going to make their stuff a little bit interesting. So get that out of there. Okay. Oh, I forgot glue on this bit. I do want to make sure that's nicely glued though, because it's going to be the front, it's going to be the first thing that goes into the pocket. So I want to make sure that's nice and stable. Okay, so what do we want under our girl? So we've got a little bit of book page, and we've got our girl, and that actually looks really cool like that. But I think I want just a little bit of this kind of torn down. Oh boy, we're getting a lot of white there. And I know I can tear the other way, but it doesn't work for me. It feels very awkward, so I just do what I do. I just pull off that extra stuff that I don't like. And tear that down a little bit. Ink it up. And we will be done shortly. I do have words to put on these, so I'll do that off camera and show you guys in the photos at the end of the video. It's because I got kind of caught up in the project and I forgot about those. So just inking that those edges of the book page, and then just thinking about where this is going to line up. So that's going to be like that. So we're going to see this edge, which is what I want. And I think I'm just going to put that right there so I can kind of be keeping that in mind. And so we're going to go ahead and put our book page there. Just about done, guys, and I will let you go. I'm loving this. I've got this coffee dyed cheesecloth that I did a while ago. I'm hoping that as it dries, it will lay and be stable there without bunching up and being a problem. So the last thing we're going to do is put our girl on there. Isn't she adorable? Oh my gosh, this is so fun. So fun. So I'm going to let you go. I'm just going to put a topper on this one, and you guys can see anything that you might have missed, since I'm going to go ahead and just stop the video, and you can see those in the pictures at the end of the video. Thank you so much, you guys. Bye-bye.